The bigger miracle was that I was looking in the exact direction of the shooter, and so it hit me at an angle that was far less destructive than any other angle. So that was the miracle. That was for those people that don't believe in God. I think we got to all start thinking about that. You have to, I'm a believer now. I'm more of a believer, I think, and a lot of people have said that to me. A lot of great people have said that to me, actually. But it was amazing that I happened to be turned just at that perfect angle.
Okay, joining us now to discuss is editor of Racket News, Matt Taibbi, and CPAC chairman Matt Schlapp. Gentlemen, good to see you today.
Great to be with you.
Matt Schlapp, I'm going to start with you. If I would have just said Matt, you wouldn't have known which Matt.
It would have been confusing.
A little bit confusing.
Well done.
Matt Schlapp, your thoughts on, 1 month ago, this assassination attempt. We're lucky President Trump is still here. He thanks God. But also, why do I feel like we've entered a new era in vetting politicians? Think about this. 1 billion views in one night on X.
Yeah.
Has a revolution been started in how we go about this, Matt? What do you think?
I don't know what to think. First of all, let me say to Matt Taibbi, I'm a huge fan. Great to be on Newsmax with you. You started with the wrong Matt because he's smarter. He'll give a better answer. But I just say this, there's been so much change in politics over the last several years that I will admit to you that you can kind of feel like you lose your breath over trying to give it some analytical flavor. But let me just say this. The one thing about Donald Trump that I think is enduringly genuine to people is that he isn't hiding somewhere. He is all out. He says things probably he shouldn't say at times. He maybe goes on too much, more than his advisors would like at times. But he just is a a heart on the sleeve guy. And I think that came out last night. The other thing that came out is we all know Elon Musk is a genius and an amazing entrepreneur, but Donald Trump is an incredibly smart person. And when I've had these wonderful moments to talk with him about all kinds of topics, he's one of the most well-read people you'll ever interact with. When Mercy worked for him at those years during the White House and the campaign, she was a comms leader, but she feared going into the Oval Office because he already read like 7 papers and had already taken like 11 phone calls from people that knew what was going on. And he really has his finger on the pulse. I think that came across very clearly.
Excellent point there, Matt. And Matt Taibbi, I also want to second what Matt Schlapp said. We're very happy to have you on Newsmax on American Agenda. We really wanted to have you for a while. So I want to dive right in. Of course, you are largely the name associated with the Twitter files and, of course, censorship over information, disinformation, that whole topic of things. With this new dawn, as Bob pointed out, in campaigning, in reaching people, do you feel that a lot of what you fought for has actually come to fruition, or do you still think there's a lot of work to be done with fake news, disinformation, and censorship when it comes to media?
First of all, thank you for having me on, and thank you, Mr. Schlapp, for those kind words. I'm sure I'm not the smartest Matt on the panel. That's definitely not true.
Wow.
But yeah, in terms of the work to do, I mean, I think we're in unprecedented waters in terms of digital control of information. And last night, frankly, was a historic moment in the history, in the annals of efforts to suppress information. We don't know exactly what happened at 8 p.m. Eastern, but before that, the European Commissioner, Thierry Breton, sent a letter to Elon Musk. Essentially, it was sort of like an injunctive warning not to fall afoul of Europe's Digital Services Act, which has really never happened before. This is sort of Europe warning an American internet platform ahead of time, ahead of a news event, that it might suffer some severe consequences for interviewing a presidential candidate. We know from the Twitter files that there is a serious movement afoot in what they call the anti-disinformation community to try to move America in the direction away from the First Amendment model and more towards the European model of hate speech laws and other strict government control of speech. And so this is, I think we're in a very dangerous moment. And last night was, to me, very worrying, irrespective of the interview.